Okay, there's probably a point where someone's going to do this, but I'm going to do this now. Have they not done an amazing job? They contacted me in pretty much right after Larry passed away, and said, Rosalie says, I want to do this storytelling thing. And I was like, great, I'm going to do it with Will. And I was like, great, two great storytellers together. And then, and you're going to speak, right? I was like, no, because I get a lot of attention for being the CEO and doing the CEO thing. And tonight's not really at all about Larry. And there's a beautiful, or about me, it's about Larry, sorry. It's about Larry, not me. Thank you. It's about Larry, not me. I don't want to speak. There's this thing called the Moth series, and a friend of, is your friend? Was it your cousin? Friend. So Catherine is part of the Moth series and helped build the Moth series, which is a storytelling organization that actually is a functioning nonprofit. It's thriving about teaching people storytelling. And they were like, we want you to talk to Catherine, she's going to help you tell a story. And I talked to Catherine, and I'm like, Catherine, and I told these guys, and this is still my truth, it's kind of too soon for me, and it's too personal. He was very dear to me, and he was my sweetheart for 5.5, almost 6 years. And we talked, not every day, but pretty much every week, and we traveled a lot together, and he's really deep in my heart. So I continued to tell them no. And the only reason why I said I would get up on the stage and say anything tonight was because they told me that Jesse Dieter was going to have a little brief film, and I said, I'll introduce it. And I decided I wanted to introduce it because, for one, I love film. If I hadn't been a bit of a procrastinator, if I had filled out the application in time for the deadline, I might have gone to the Directors Guild program at UCLA. It's really, really what I wanted to do, but I was a little scared, and I didn't, it's the thing you purposely do, and then you're like, oh, it's the wrong day, and I had it filled out, and I took it to and I was like, I missed that one. And the other reason why I wanted to make the introduction was because the first role I had with Burning Man really was to help oversee the intake for the media. And I had a lot of different roles, but I got really stoked about that one. I had worked in public relations, I had worked in advertising, I have a degree in writing and in photography, and I consider myself a storyteller and an artist. And I consider the photographers and the filmmakers artists. And in 1996, when I went to Burning Man, and then I was going now at this point and became part of the organization, and which was like just a bunch of friends, not really an organization, I knew that I wanted to help the artists that were photographers and filmmakers tell their story. That people didn't want MTV, they didn't want the media there, they didn't want the media kill the media, but the media are storytellers and many of them are artists, and to actually be able to just open for a minute and tell people that there's a piece here that came from Jesse Dieter, and Jesse Dieter and Steve Brown and a huge team of people collaborated on a film called Spark. And Spark is it's the defining film at this point about Burning Man. Before that, there was Beyond Black Rock that Mike Wilson did, and Confessions of a Burning Man that Ansu Lee did. And I felt really excited to actually be able to help them, to help open the doors so they could see in to the world that is the Burning Man organization and the Burning Man project and the Burning Man culture. And I really wanted to point out that, and several of you guys now in the second act have mentioned it, you guys have mentioned it too. How can you be part of the Burning Man culture without collaboration? It's like a part of who we are. And I think when I first came along, I didn't quite see it quite the same way, and that's what opened me up was collaboration. And I deeply respect the filmmakers, and I deeply respect so many of you. I've seen so many faces here of people that came way before me and help make Burning Man culture happen. And there'll be many of us, and there'll be many after me. And I got excited. They said, take a look at the film, and I said, I want to take a look at the film. It's a short piece. And it became personal for me when I saw it. These guys don't even know it. It's not what I expected, because it includes footage from 1994 that Jessie didn't shoot, but she got from Chuck Serino, who she collaborated with on obviously because they're sharing their footage with each other. And that's the first video I ever saw. This is before there was the internet, and I bought a VHS at Clothes Contact on Valencia Street and watched this VHS. And on this film was a shark car that swirled its tail like this, which is one of the first art cars, along with Harry Blank, who's here tonight, and oh my God, was one of the first art cars. And Robert Burke, who's here tonight, who made these crazy contraptions of art cars. And it's personal for me because I didn't know it at the time, and this is just like Kate Rodenbush's story, but 10 years later, Tom Kennedy, who made the shark, he came to me and he said, "You have a fucking golf cart." He actually said that. He goes, "That's stupid." He did. He said, "I want to make you a cat car. You like cats? I want to make you a cat car." So with a chassis from a car that he got from Krista Monterey, who's here tonight, and he worked with Flash and Dana, who are here tonight. And they also collaborated on art cars, and they collaborated on Burning Man, just like we all collaborate. And so I want to thank all of you that have helped teach me the lessons and that we've learned from the experience that Larry sparked of collaboration. And I want to thank Jessie for her poem, which is a brief film, a poetry, a love poem to Larry. Thank you.